So the one I always point to is Shattered Glass, starring Hayden Christensen. It's the good Hayden Christensen performance. It weaponizes his unlikability to play Stephen Glass, a real con artist, but a con artist of the journalistic variety. He fabricated big, flowery, prize-winning stories, and everybody just went with it until one enterprising editor and one plucky young reporter said, this stinks a little bit. And I love this movie because, like,
that's right,
the Firefest documentaries that you're so obsessed with, there's the scene where you like ultimately have to confront, like, what do you actually think? Like, this is the kind of con artist who it's like he might actually believe all of his own lies, all of his own patently untrue.
Yeah, or think that he will make good.
In 2002, Steven Spielberg pulled a George Lucas and made some digital changes to E.T., shot some digitally enhanced effects, including adding a cape to Elliot as he flies on the bicycle so that it would match the Amblin logo and the poster of E.T. And in the most notorious example was he replaced the guns that the federal agents have with walkie-talkies, and people made endless fun of this.
They still seem dangerous to me.
It is surprising when these agents just have a giant gun. Like, they're going to shoot these kids out of the sky.
But they were being reckless with them the whole time. The way they were driving around kids on bikes, like, they could have killed one. It could have hurt, seriously, a child the entire time. So these random bikes, it doesn't help. If that's the vibe, it doesn't help. You still seem reckless with children.
I think the government as threat, as sort of uncaring, monolithic threat is great in this movie. Even though they the one agent you get to know is like a good guy and is sympathetic, it is still like, yeah, they'll just come in and run over you and not mean it. It's just part of their job. Today we got to go get that alien.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about...
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. I know it's a little short notice with this live show, but we are here. And today I have a special guest. We've been trying to get them on the show for a while now, and our schedule's finally aligned. And that is Matt and Lacey from Low Bearing Beams. And they are here. So thanks, guys, for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're glad to do it.
God does not want us here because he just turned off our power and turned it back on. And if it happens again, we've been smited. Sorry.
It happens. It happens.
Mittens.
Why don't you go and tell the folks out there that may not know who you are, what you guys do?
Yes, take it away.
Oh, well, we're a married couple, and we have this movie podcast where we do a deep dive into a movie each week. Talk a lot about the history of the making of the movie, and then go through the movie's plot for like a 2-hour episode, and we make fun of each other and the movie, and
we psychoanalyze and wax poetic,
do bad impressions and
some good ones.
Yeah.
We're kind of a big deal. Please subscribe.
Yeah, she's right.
I'm right.
Yeah, your guys' videos are a lot of fun. The back and forth banter that you guys do is great.
Thank you.
And I love the topics you choose. Like this month, you're doing Steven Spielberg month. And you're
it's all
summer.
It's all summer, baby.
All summer long, and going through his filmography. And I heard about this, I reached out to you guys, and I'm like, I am a huge Steven Spielberg fan. In fact, he is one of the reasons why me and my brother Simon became filmmakers.
Mm-hmm.
And can we please be on the show? Because any chance I get to talk about Spielberg, I take it. And so that's an episode we're going to be doing together. And we're recording it. We're recording it next week, and then it's going to air in 2 weeks.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And it's on The Fabelmans, the most recent movie he made, but it's his most autobiographical, and it's about filmmaking. So
it's perfect.
Excited to get your perspective on that, because actually making movies is something I know nothing about. I just know what I hear about on commentaries and stuff.
One of the only things we don't know in all of humanity. So we need
you only know the important things.
No,
that's my dad used to say. I only know the important things. Well, do you know this?
Exclusive.
And I'm like, do you know this? No, because it's not important.
That's right.
If I don't know it, it's not important.
I think we might have had the same dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just thought we would just hang out. No real specific topic tonight. Just kind of hang out, talk about physical media, talk about movies. If you guys want to pop into the chat and
Yes.
leave your questions, comments, we'll read them on live on the air.
Do it.
So first of all, I do have a question for both of you. And why? I guess why and when did you start loving physical media? What is it about physical media that you love?
Okay, for me, it was I've always been a collector of just items, and I was alone a lot growing up. Oldest, latchkey kid type situation, and movies just were very comfort. It made the house feel alive. We moved around a lot, and it didn't feel like home until we got cable or some. I would put a VHS on, I needed the house to be alive. So movies became hugely comforting to me. And then when Blockbuster switched to DVD, they just started putting these bins of like $1 movies, VHSs. Just you could dive in it. And I worked at Sonic, and I just skate my way on over Blockbuster, spend my entire paycheck on. And so I was the only 19-year-old I knew with a 500 VHS collection. But that's my pride and joy.
Those were the days of Blockbuster, Hollywood Video and Blockbuster. What I love, though, is we had some local video stores, like mom and pop shops, video stores. Those were the best, and I always went to those instead of the big franchise places, because a lot of times those smaller ones, local owned stuff, had a lot of stuff that Blockbuster would not carry. Like movies like I Spit on Your Grave or even Evil Dead, they wouldn't carry those because of the rating. And so I always gravitate a lot more towards the smaller local stores. Zed joins us. Hey, Zed. What are the latest movies to join your collections? We're going to talk about it in just a moment, but first we're going to allow Matt to tell us why he loves physical media, what got him into it.
What got me into it? I mean, I certainly always liked it. When I was 15 or 16, I started to get super into classic movies. I mean, movies of all kind, but really going through like the canon as presented by the American Film Institute was how I got super into it. And getting DVDs, because like, this was pre-streaming. This was the way that you could consume the movie. So I went and I worked my job in high school, and then I spent my entire paycheck at Circuit City or Best Buy on as many DVDs as my paycheck would carry me. So I have like hundreds of those from that time. And recently it is way more like, I still love it, but it is way more about control and knowing that the companies can take away the movies from the streaming networks at any time. And the only way you can actually own it is to own it. And like, I don't buy CDs anymore, but I was buying CDs until like 5 years ago to listen to music. Not that I would listen to the CD, but it was nice to just have a physical copy just in case. And I feel that way about physical media.
You've
too.
always been a cataloger, though. You have spreadsheets. Like, you just like to, even if it was just like digital copies of stuff, you have the biggest libraries of all things that you like. Books.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a physical digital kind of man. I don't know.
Yeah, I have justifications for it, but yeah, it is just a weird compulsion.
I didn't ask you. Defensive.
No, but the justification is like, no, it's important to preserve because one day we might not have access.
It belongs in a museum. I got it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Thanks, John. Hi, John.
John Pimmel says, thanks for introducing me to Lacey and Matt's show. I'll look them up. Absolutely.
Oh,
hey, John, thanks for joining us tonight too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, with me and Simon, or Simon and I, however you want to do the grammar.
However you want. It's your show, baby.
We grew up. Simon has some emotional issues and things like that, and so we always had a hard time in school, and we kind of grew up on movies as our escape. Yeah. Our escape from our problems, because we were kids, so it was the only way we knew how to escape.
Yeah.
And that's what we gravitated towards. And so I remember my parents would take us to Star Video, which was a local store, and just said, rent what you want. And we just went through the entire store looking at, back in the day, they would have some awesome artwork.
Yes.
VHS, awesome artwork. And so we would
Holograms.
look to see the best artwork and we would grab them. And
Worked on me. That's why I'm a graphic designer. I'm all about those sparkly objects.
Really, yeah. What was funny is back then they would have artwork that had absolutely nothing to do with the movie. So, they would have like this huge monster on it that looks like it's about to attack the hero, and you watch the movie, and that monster's not even in the movie.
Paul, challenge. You have to make a video with at least 5 examples of that. That's so interesting. That would be a cool video.
Right now called
You're gonna go viral, baby. I love that.
I know there are people who say like the Goonies poster has all the Goonies stacked up or whatever.
Now they're like falling down like a
okay, but that's never in the movie, and people were like, I assumed that was in the movie, and it's not.
The
right?
Feeling
yeah,
of them falling.
It would do that all the time.
Yeah, it felt like an outrage.
And you're watching it, waiting for that scene to come, and it never comes, and you're like, oh man, and so we, this was like when we were 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And as we started getting into being teenagers, then we started realizing first, we always heard the music in the movies. Mm-hmm. And we were like, man, we love this music. I wish we could have it. We didn't know soundtracks existed.
Right.
And we were 9, 10 years old. And I remember Dad took us to see Batman in 1989. We were 11 years old. And then we went over to Tower Records. If you guys remember Tower Records,
we have we had one in New Orleans,
and me and my brother, we would look through it and we saw a soundtrack aisle. So we're like, soundtracks, what's that?
I know
we saw the soundtrack to Batman, and we're like, holy crap! You mean we can buy the music from the movies?
You're so right. That is so often like the entry into like music, loving and connecting. I mean, we all had Disney soundtracks that we all jammed to Lion King. Didn't we?
How about the Disney Afternoon? Did. Disney Afternoon with the theme songs, and then they released a soundtrack of all the theme songs to the and so our first soundtrack was Batman, and then we bought Back to the Future Part 2, then we bought Star Trek 2, and that was our introduction into like James Horner, the composer, James Horner. And then we started like, okay, well, let's look up every movie James Horner composes the music to, and we started doing that. But then we started noticing, we wanted to see how these movies were made and how they made these movies, and so we started studying them, and that was our film school, is just watching them. And I'm going to bring this out a little bit more in our video together with our Steven Spielberg video, but real briefly, we would take certain directors like Steven Spielberg, and we would just watch his whole filmography
in order.
At that point, in order,
mm-hmm.
and then we would choose like Francis Ford Coppola and do the same thing.
Yeah,
and then when DVDs came out, they started having audio commentaries on it, and that was it. That was when we were like, okay, I'm going to consume all these audio commentaries and learn how to make a movie, how they do it. And still to this day, the one documentary, it's an hour and I think an hour and a half long, maybe an hour long documentary that we saw, and that was on the Abyss Special Edition on Laserdisc, 1993. And we saw a documentary about not just the making of the movie, but what went on behind the scenes of the making of the movie, how they problem solved. And that's when we were hooked. And we're like, okay, we want to do this.
I love that.
And so it just went on from there.
How honest was that documentary?
100%.
How can he know?
Because everybody that was a notoriously like torturous production. There was like a mutiny against James Cameron.
No,
life's abyss, and then you die, or then you drown.
Yeah, they went in and talked about all that. Like they had interviews with the actors. James Cameron, you can find the documentary on YouTube, I think. James Cameron even admits that he was a hard ass and he was too hard on people sometimes, but he was overwhelmed himself, and he let everything get to him. They talked about where Ed Harris almost drowned.
Yeah,
because he's a treasure. That would have
right?
been a crime.
I know.
Yes.
And it was because of James Cameron. And so Ed Harris said he will never work with James Cameron ever again. So they go into all of it. They don't hold back.
Okay, we need to watch
And
that.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
like to
that's
watch
great
that.
because
Please.
I have the Abyss DVD because it wasn't available on Blu-ray forever and
Yeah.
wasn't streaming for a long time either.
Yeah, so they should. Yeah. I believe it does have the documentary on there. You should check it out. Absolutely. Yeah. So I did get a couple things yesterday that just came in yesterday. One is from Universal, the Bike Riders.
Nice.
That was just out in theaters. I'm like, I opened this. I'm like, didn't it just play in theaters like 2 weeks ago?
It's in our theater right now.
Really?
We saw a poster for it.
Is that
days
Mel
ago.
Gibson?
It's so funny. No, Tom Hardy, Austin Butler, Jodie Comer. So I can't wait because I wanted to see this in the theater. I just didn't get around to it.
I think you're on a special list, Paul. I don't think you're supposed to have that.
Well, what's funny, I was going to bring
There's
this up. What's
misspelled
funny
words on it.
is they send these, which are press releases, and they sent two of them, and one has a date
you're
for
twins.
September 3rd, and the other one has a date for August 13th.
And just
So I'm
covering their bases.
I don't.
Okay, so which
That's
date
not
is
normal.
the right date?
Talk to them.
And so it's like I need to know the right date if I'm going to review these and showcase them. When does this come out? So you'll see in my unboxing I did today. I kind of show both of them. Like, so I don't know which one's which, but it's out sometime, and
It'll be out sometime.
Recent in the next recent time. Mhm.
right, it'll be out in the next between
current
now and
timeline.
September. September will be out. So yeah, so that came out, and then I got Furiosa.
Yo,
Wow.
I haven't seen it. Matt
Does
sees
come-
everything.
Yeah, that does
But I'm
come out
looking
next Tuesday.
Okay.
Mhm.
So 13th, and I don't know what I'm not sure if I saw your review of it. I think you did a review of it, right?
You did.
Yeah, I did
Mhm.
because I love the Mad Max franchise. It's my
Yes.
favorite franchise, and I love that movie.
He loves it.
Good, because I know there was a lot of mixed feelings about that movie.
Hey, it's okay for people to be wrong.
Yeah,
That's okay.
We accept that.
Oh, let's see here. Return of the Disc. Hey, man, thanks for joining us.
No.
One's Peacock date and the other. Well, no, because
Wow.
actually it says here.
You have a smart audience.
It's are they? Because it does say here, it says yours to own digital August 9th and then Blu-ray and DVD August 13th. But then the other one says yours to own Blu-ray DVD on September 3rd. So
Bullshit.
which one is it?
I've
don't
worked in
know.
I've worked in law for 20 years now, and I'm feeling like some evidence. I'm picturing a timeline. I'm picturing a jury trial. I'm just saying.
Well, how many people do you think are working in Universal's physical media department?
And their correspondence. Take a lot of.
That's the thing is like I don't know. So yeah, I know. Yeah, the Peacock logo on one of them, but still
Good eye, Return of the Disc. Jeez.
it says August 9th is the streaming,
Where's
and
the
then
okay? When the other one doesn't have a peacock logo, I'm into this now. I'm in deep.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know which one is accurate with the
Yes.
physical disc.
Return of the
September 3rd.
Disc.
Anyway, so it will be out
Got it.
between August 13th and September 3rd for the 4K disc.
I'm gonna be tracking this on Peacock just to see.
Yeah, so it does say yours to own digitally and streaming on August 9th, and then it says on Blu-ray and DVD August 13th. Oh, stream the film exclusively on August 9th. Yeah. Stream the film exclusively on Peacock August 9th.
Matt's pulled up his internet.
Blu-ray.com has it coming out on August 13th on disc.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Paul's clearly
So-
in some sort of mailing club. He got mail. So I think that's a little more fish.
Just call him Meg Ryan.
So I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Another one that I got is Crisis on Infinity Earths Part 3. Now,
Okay.
this was actually, I was told, had an audio issue,
Mm-hmm.
and they pushed it back. So I hope they fixed it.
Is
but
that a
I shall
steel
find
book?
out. Yes.
Can you tap on it? I like to hear it.
Hang on a second here. So
Give it a little tap.
Got all 3 parts here.
They sound so heavy. I like. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, those look crispy. I want to sniff them.
Are those worth
And-
watching?
Who cares? They're worth collecting, baby.
I don't know. I haven't watched them yet. I was waiting for the third one to come in, and I was just going to watch all 3 of them.
Can I ask the
once.
chat a serious question? Does anyone else smell their physical media? Is that just me?
Have you seen my video?
No.
Hold on.
Is there a whole sniffing video?
It is.
This is a new kind of Paul. Give it
If
to me.
you-
This is behind the beaded curtain, Paul.
It's in 40X.
at the mom and pop VHS.
Let
I
me
made
see
that
if I can-
mistake. You don't go behind the beaded curtain. You don't do it unless
see
you're
if I
ready
can
to
grab
see
it
your
real
science
quick
teacher. You know what I mean? That was a day.
What are you talking about?
That doesn't matter.
Nobody
Look,
knows
we need
what
to
you're
answer John's question. He
Well,
has
I'm
such a
taking-
thoughtful question.
Yes, I know. I'm taking Paul's lead.
Oh no, but Paul was doing a thing. We were going to vamp for him.
No dead air, guys. Come on. You know the drill.
Oh, okay.
Yes, new Blu-rays do smell great. Thank you. I smell
Just
library
looking
books
here.
too, but I think everyone does that.
I'm trying to get the video that I wanted to show you, and I'm trying
You
to
let
find
us-
it here.
Here,
Well,
But,
John wanted to know
do
if we.
this when you're ready for us to just like take over. Paul, you go. Look, Paul's busy. Answer. Answer, damn it!
Go ahead, answer.
Shut.
Okay, so John asks us about do we use commentary tracks or do they inform? Do we like commentary tracks? In other words, and yes, of course, I love commentary tracks.
This motherfucker.
Now, my favorite movie commentary track would be probably Roger Ebert's commentary track on Citizen Kane. But if it's a director's commentary, I think I really remember the Edgar Wright Hot Fuzz commentary very fondly.
That's interesting.
And Quentin Tarantino is on that as well.
Okay.
But by far the
It's
commentaries
like a
I've
little
listened.
podcast.
Well, that's the thing. And I was going to bring this up about like first purchases. The Simpsons commentaries I've listened to hundreds of times. I literally burnt them onto CDs
Yes, they are
and
your
listened
goodnight
to
noise.
them in my
Yes,
car
yes.
before there were podcasts. So those are just a part of my. They're just a part of my soul, and they are not on Disney Plus. So that's why it's so important to hold on to those DVDs.
I give that a Disney minus.
Well, I would too.
Okay.
All right, hang on. All right, I'm gonna. Sorry. This is what
That's an
happens when you have a live
interesting one.
show.
God, I remember my first CD. It was the tag team. Whoop, there it is. I know that's not what you're asking me. And then Ace of Base at some point too. Those two seem mixed together. It doesn't matter. Whoop, there the sign is.
Whoop.
Well, I definitely I have it here. My first DVD that I ever purchased, and I will give you the date too. December 26, 2001, because we got a DVD player for Christmas.
Hello.
2001, and then I went to Barnes and Noble and bought The Simpsons season 1
That's sweet
on
Christmas money.
DVD. And I was obsessed with The Simpsons, but when I took this home, I realized I've never seen season 1. These episodes are weird.
Why are they all swiggly?
And it's definitely the season I go back to the least, but it has, it has its value, it has its charm. But yeah, the commentaries on there are amazing,
You gotta
and
start somewhere.
you get some footage from the aborted pilot of The Simpsons, which was Some Enchanted Evening, the episode that ended up airing last in the season. The animation looked so bad that they had to basically spend tons of money to order all new animation. And you can hear the story about that, where James L. Brooks gets so fed up that he leaves the commentary because he's so disgusted.
In the middle of the commentary? He's
Wow.
talking and then he's not?
Well, he's watching the episode and it's like bringing back such bad memories for
Oh.
him that he leaves.
I need a break.
Wow. Really? Wow.
Yes. First, I don't remember the first movie I got on DVD. I can tell you it was either Godzilla, Blue Streak, or as one of those two, I believe.
I think Beauty and the Beast clamshell poofy box was my first VHS, just because it was in a poofy box and it meant I had arrived as a child.
John says one of my favorite commentaries is Ronald Moore on Battlestar Galactica commentary tracks. Released this as a download the week Sci-Fi released the episode. I remember that. I didn't watch it in real time. I watched it later, but I remember reading something like that.
He's
Believe
a
me,
big Galactica
I'm
man.
doing all this work, but believe me, it'll be worth it.
Oh, it's gonna pay. I can't wait. I love a good build up.
For some
I'm
reason,
holding-
I thought I had it on my hard drive, but it ended up not being there. So
Should I show my favorite piece of physical media right now? Okay.
absolutely.
This is the laser disc version of The Craft that my very good friend Stitch's Storytime got me for my birthday this year. I turned 40. I know it's hard to believe. They're very shiny. They look like giant DVDs, and
Wow.
it smells great.
I used
Thank
to have
you, Stitch.
laser discs. They became real popular again like in 93,
Really?
92, 93. And so we had laser discs, and I had Hot Shots Part 2 on laser disc.
they seem like it's easy to own a lot of them. They're so thin. But it doesn't seem like you can have children in these, because you can't just hand one of these to your kids and go, it's like hold this pizza.
I remember,
don't drop it.
Yeah, when I learned what laser discs were when I was, 13 or so, I was like, is this a joke? This is just an enormous CD. The CD got bigified.
It's just like a silly putty version of the CD. And you just go,
yeah. Yes. What else you got, Lacey?
Yeah, I know that the problem with laser disc, because like I said, we had laser discs, and every time we had company over, because they can't fit the whole movie just on one side, it's on two sides.
Everyone go pee. We're flipping.
You're right. So it's like you would have up to 45 minutes, 50 minutes, I think, at the most of the movie, and then it would stop. Have to wait for the disc to flip over. If you had an automatic flipper, if you didn't, then you would have to get up and flip the disc.
I feel like trash while you're doing it.
Oh, I tell you, when we had company over, we had some people say,
"Nobody look at me."
Yeah, well, and then I would have people say, I would invite them back over to see another movie, and they're like, "No, I think we're okay."
Crazy,
like,
just because.
Hold
on, my giant.
Is it because of
machine.
I'm like, is it because of the laser disc? And they're like, yeah. I was like, okay.
Those
and
the fidelity.
I heard that the Blu-rays are just as good looking. I mean,
no, because first of all, laser disc.
I was informed wrong.
Even though they're on the disc, it's still analog. It's not digital. So it's still NTSC analog video, and it's SD, not even HD. So Blu-ray disc is digital and HD. So no, it's.
So I'm going to tell that person.
Yeah,
incorrect.
I think people think because it's on a disc, then it has to be digital and HD, but it doesn't.
Well, I knew it was standard def. I did not know it was not a digital disc, but then I guess that's why they called it DVD when they did.
Right.
Yeah, digital disc.
Freaking idiot. I'm kidding. I didn't know that.
You didn't?
Shut up.
You're always talking about it.
I know a lot of things you don't. Ask me anything that I know.
I don't want to be embarrassed.
All right, hang on. I'm almost done here.
If you have not baked an entire cake by the time you are done, I'm going to be let down.
Yeah, John,
I'm sorry.
John says the Lord of the Rings trilogy has tons of commentary tracks. As for separate commentary tracks, I've never delved into the commentary tracks on Lord of the Rings.
Just the movies alone are overwhelming,
and the amount of special features are also overwhelming.
I did watch all of them in one day, though.
What do you guys think of Lord of the Rings?
I remember being dazzled by it, but I had gotten a boob job and I had nothing to do. And so I watched all 3 in a row. I hope there's not 4.
No, there's a fourth one.
No! And I just remember going, I can't believe I hadn't seen that yet. But that was Katrina time? How long ago was Katrina?
That was 2005.
There you go.
Well, you got your boob job after Katrina because of your SBA loan.
Right. This was a government loan.
Yes.
Right.
I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I did not always, but the older I get, the more I like them.
Do you get the sense that John is testing his love for you by giving you only acronyms? And you are just like, you're nailing. I knew Lord of the Rings. I knew that. I did not know Battlestar Galactica.
I had to infer Battlestar Galactica from Ronald Moore.
Oh, shit. God.
Okay.
You guys might be best friends.
Okay. I think we got it here.
I've also been wondering if I should give the Hobbit movies another try because I watched.
No.
Well, see, I watched Peter Jackson's King Kong movie, which I hadn't seen basically since theaters, and I thought it was pretty great. And I think especially when you compare it to all the other blockbusters with the CGI, it looked so much better. I think having a director who's very hands-on with the VFX just made me think maybe I need to give those Hobbit movies another chance.
No.
Paul just said no.
Okay,
No.
Paul,
like a
Those
simple
movies,
answer.
Right.
those movies are terrible. I bought them on Blu-ray, never watched them. I bought them when it came out on 4K, never watched them, and and so I thought, okay, I'm going to give this one more chance. Let's just try it one more time, and then I turned around and sold them. So
Wait, then how do you know if they're good or not?
no, well, I saw the movies in the theater.
Oh, okay.
And,
You didn't mention that.
Return.
Well, I thought that was a given. Sorry.
I'm sorry. No,
I'm sorry.
no. You know
I'm
what? No,
sorry.
you be sorry. You be sorry. Where's the cake? I was told.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Are you guys ready?
Wait. Return of the Disc says he did not expect a boob job to come up tonight, and I say to him, "You please tune into our podcast. It comes up all the time." I say to them. I say to thee.
All the time?
I mean, okay. Every third episode, these girls get a call out because they act up.
That's true.
They're always fighting.
That's true.
All right. Are we ready? Are you ready?
We're ready. Do your thing.
Dazzle
All right.
me.
This is going to be worth it. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, here we go.
It's better than cocaine. Take it all in.
There we go.
That
All right.
cake was worth it.
Standing O.
Or actual O. You know, that's how
Yeah,
good. That's how good it was. You guys often go thrift shops or garage sales for your hells. Yes. So it's one of the biggest thrills is just finding things out in the wild. Any fool could purchase things full price.
Did we do Mr. Blue Third C? I never owned Laserdiscs, but always liked the artwork on the fold-out package. Yeah, it's like an album. It was like a.
He said that, and then I wanted to fold it out. I didn't
okay.
look. What do you mean?
Well,
There's no
there's a lot
fold-out?
Some of them.
There's some of them. If they were 2 discs, they would fold out.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, because if the disc was longer than 2 hours, it would have to be on 2 discs.
I needed to get the Titanic then. I just I can't believe I'm mentioning this twice. As a graphic designer, I just appreciate the pure surface area. I mean, you can go wild.
Look at the amount of text on there.
That is it.
Chapter
that is a
headings.
7-point font.
Oh, well, here's the appropriate place to ask this question. I've been thinking about it for a long time.
How big?
You know, every DVD came with the insert with the chapter titles. And I thought, who's asking for this? How is this useful at all?
What?
Am I crazy? So you okay?
I was asking for it.
Yeah,
Really?
our son. Hello. I'm just saying, for someone like our kid, he would love to know where certain things are by name.
Well, yeah, but they're like clever titles. How are you going to know? Like,
well, what's funny is like I used to love doing that. Like we were watching the movie, I'm looking at the title, the card, and I'm just like, because I'm thinking to myself, number one, who chose these names?
Right.
Number two, you know, how like I remember some weird title like Big Mother Fucker. It was the title of a movie, and I'm like, who put this? Who thought of this?
Who made this? Yes, it's like an album or a series. You've got your very straightforward episode 2, just one word things, and then you've got someone like is it My Chemical Romance? Death Cab for Cutie, where every song is like 8 words long.
Yeah.
That's not Death Cab for Cutie.
I don't know what you're
Then
thinking.
say who it is, asshole.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
It's like, this song is about
Fall Out Boy.
There.
Fall
Yeah,
Out Boy.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah, Fall Out Boy.
Death Cab for Fall Boy. That's what I said.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean it's weird. Now they still have chapters, which I like having the chapters, but now they just 1, 2, 3, 4. How boring is that? It's boring.
Boring.
Give me some names.
Bring it
I
back.
like the idea of it. I was just like, who's pulling out this card to follow along with as the movie's on? But the answer is you're like the person who goes to the baseball game and fills out their own scorecard. That was an error.
No, you know why?
No.
Because I've never been to a baseball game, so no.
In your face, Matt.
I said it was like that. I didn't say it was literally.
Oh, okay.
John Pimmel says, if you think the Hobbit trilogy like a TV series, there are 10 parts you can divide them into. But are they
Okay.
still worth watching? Because there's TV series that aren't worth watching.
Right. Yes, that makes me less inclined to watch it.
Paul, you sassy man.
Right?
Let's
The
see.
thing I like about movies is that they're not TV.
Andre says,
That's-
hey, thanks for
that's-
joining us tonight.
Thank
Do
you.
you guys often go? Oh, okay, you answered this already. Do you guys often go thrift shopping or
But
garage
Paul, do
sales for your
you?
DVDs and Blu-rays?
Paul, you're more high end. I feel like you get you know exactly what you want and you buy that. You don't really go for a lot of.
If I can get it new, I will always buy it new because I love
Yeah.
unwrapping it. I love the whole, it's a ceremony. I like
Yeah.
candles, scented candles, and
That is hot. Michael Bolton in the back. Ground.
exactly.
Return of the Disc says this is truly Twin Flicks After Dark.
Yes,
and
it is.
I'm wondering if Paul's ever gotten this comment, and I hope he hasn't because I take that with extreme honor if I were able to bless.
It's
this
funny.
man.
We talk about that. We're like, we should do it like a Twin Flicks After Dark.
We're doing it.
We're doing it now at 8:30. But I'm like, after midnight is what I'm thinking.
We're talking about very sensual stuff, touching the package, caressing it, smelling it. It's all very natural.
Speaking of opening things new, I got my very first brand new Criterion collection of it I've ever gotten.
Wait,
I've found some in
sorry.
the wild
Hold
before.
on. How did you pronounce it?
Criterion.
So it's an
Criterion.
Oregon thing,
Right.
Down here in the
The
South, we
Kraken?
say Criterion.
Oh, is it Kraken?
It's Kraken,
Cri-
yes.
Is it Chicago?
Criterion.
Oh yeah. So I got my first Chicago subs, as you can see here, and it's the Breakfast Club, and I got it from on a Prime Day. Amazon lets me know when they have Prime days. I'm kind of special,
Wow.
a little exclusive. Yeah, and it was exciting.
That's cool.
They do have little trinkets inside. I was excited.
And do me a favor. Look on the back.
Okay.
Does it say 4K restoration?
No, because I got a Blu-ray.
No. Just look. Just do me a favor and
Right.
look.
Where do you want me to look? Oh, he's
Back.
better. He knows how to read.
Hey, the essay is by David Camp.
He is failing.
That's not the question.
Stick to the topic,
I
Matt.
answered my own question. No, it doesn't say 4K restoration anywhere. This is
Okay.
from 2018.
Why you gotta call me
So-
out? It was only $20.
So the reason why I asked is because there are a lot of Blu-rays that are sourced from a 4K.
Oh.
And I was thinking that one was because it was a newer release. So
But
that's-
2018.
that's a misconception that people have, thinking that 4K can only be on a 4K UHD disc. First of all, the UHD disc is just like, you can consider it like an upscale Blu-ray. It's just like it's on a Bluray disc. It just uses more of the data on the disc
Okay.
than
More
your Blu-ray
compression.
does.
Okay.
And so a lot of people think, if I say 4K, I'm just talking about UHD. No, because if you look on the back, a lot of Blu-rays, they'll say from a 4K scan or from 4K restoration.
Mm-hmm.
And
Can I ask
Yeah.
a dumb question?
no,
Okay.
go ahead.
Does that make those kinds of Blu-rays better quality because they
Yes.
are from? Okay.
Yes, because
Yay!
a lot of the
I'm
new
gonna read
scans,
it
like
again.
the new restoration, they'll go back to the original color grading and clean up the image quality. So like if you have a 4K Blu-ray that says from a 4K scan, 4K transfer restoration, they still did all the work
Mhm.
to restore it, to clean it up, to color accuracy. And then a lot of times, like Criterion's doing right now, is
It
they're
says 4K digital restoration, you piece of shit.
there it is.
There it is. There you go.
There it is. Yep,
Right
there it is.
freaking here.
So it's sourced from the 4K restoration.
I do love my husband. I'm sorry.
And so what Criterion's doing now and Shaft Factory's doing now is they're taking all the Blu-rays that they released that had the 4K scan on it, and now they're redoing them on UHD. And so I'm
So you
pretty
don't-
sure.
You don't need to repurchase if you have the old, if you have the Blu-rays.
If you're happy with it, no, because if you have like a big home theater system you know, you have all the bells and whistles, then you probably want to get the full 4K experience. But if you don't, then you're probably fine just having the Blu-ray.
Paul,
Mhm.
is there a video of you showing off your setup?
Nope.
Rude.
And I don't know if there ever will be.
Oh man.
I try to keep my private life private that way.
Yeah.
I just don't want to, you know.
No, that makes sense.
I've done like a my studio, like I'll show things in my studio, but outside of that, I don't show outside of that.
I like that your walls look like they're concrete.
Yeah,
I
like
assume
that
you're in a
too.
basement.
Yeah.
But you're in
Nope.
you're in Texas, so you're not in a basement, right? Do they have basement?
No basement. No, this is just like a bedroom that I converted to a studio.
Oh, those are soundproofing materials behind you.
Yeah, this is all soundproofing.
Oh, okay. I too
I
thought it was
love that.
concrete bricks.
It does. It looks like cylinder block.
Yeah, originally I had like these ones that look like Legos almost, but the foam kept ripping, and it like after a year it discolored.
What are you doing in that room, Paul? Is it also a Jello
I
wrestling
tell
arena?
you, I keep my private life private.
Yeah.
Knew it.
I look at my movies,
And
late
then
at night.
And I think about them.
I get a good sniff.
But yeah, I mean, going back to like you know, if your viewers out there on your channel are watching this channel and they don't know what we do here, I do a lot of 4K versus Blu-ray comparison videos. And
Show me.
what I do is I actually pull images directly from the actual disc, both discs.
Mhm.
I know some people have actually like downloaded movies off of a torrent and done that way, but that's, you know, that's not, well, what I mean is doing the comparison with the movies from a torrent and not actually pulling it from the disc. Or I found out recently someone was actually taking the Blu-ray and then dialing down the contrast and the saturation and the color and then boosting the other image to make it look like it was 4K.
Who are these bootleggers?
But not me. I don't play that game.
No. We're here for the facts.
Right. And the whole thing, this all started by almost kind of like by accident, because I was fooling around on my editing software and I'm like, well, I want to know if this movie is worth buying, so I'm going to put them side by side and compare.
Right.
And then I thought, well, wait a minute here. If I'm thinking this, there's got to be other people out there that are wondering this.
Right.
And so I put out my first video and it took off from there.
That's
and
awesome.
I wanted to show you this. This is from Butcher Nightmare Maker.
Okay.
And this tells you like the cleanup job. So you can't see it there. There. So I don't know if you can see it, but on the right-hand side, there's like a white speck on her eye.
Yeah.
On the left-hand side is the 4K. The speck is gone.
Wow. Yeah. Once you see it, she looks like she's got googly eyes.
Yeah. So they completely cleaned up any kind of debris
believe
or
you
wear and
caught
tear from the negative. And what happens is that the negative sits in storage. And so things like that happen to the negative. And so they go in and clean it all up.
Wait, I need to understand the process of how do you do this when you get a new, I mean, are you literally looking at this frame by frame? How are you catching that kind of thing?
So basically, yes. So like, that's why I say it takes long. Because it can take up to 3 days or longer to do this kind of work. Because first, I'm watching it to compare it. So a 2-hour movie, 4 hours to watch them because you're watching the DVD, the Blu-ray and the 4K. Then I'm scrubbing through each one. So I'm just going through it on my editing software to pick out what frames are going to look best to highlight, the difference. And so basically that's what I'm doing. And then I'm on my phone and I put like 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then I go back and do that and go to that timeline, time frame.
God, you've got to be the only person I don't know. That's just a real, anything that takes that kind of time, you should be rewarded for. So. And
it shows I have absolutely no life.
No, it shows you have.
This is the life.
You have a niche passion, and that's what makes it big bucks, baby.
When on our show, I make a PowerPoint presentation to guide us through the movie, because we used to not do that, and we were like, wait, then what happens?
Yeah.
And so now we have an extra. So, but the way I do it is I rip the movie and then put it in Adobe Premiere and then grab screenshots. And once I started doing that, I started realizing like it is so interesting to go frame by frame through movies. Sometimes you see it in a totally different way, and you see things like, oh, from this cut to here, he's in a totally different part of the frame that he shouldn't be in. And it's a very nerdy thing to do, but it's like fascinating to see movies in this totally different way.
You're in a small club.
Seeing the continuity differences, shifts. And a lot of times some people say, well, there's really no difference between 4K and Blu-ray. And the problem is that when you grew up on, say, like Twister on Blu-ray, it's been out for over 10 years. Mm-hmm. And you're used to the way it looks. You grew up on it on Blu-ray or the DVD. And then when it comes out on 4K and the colors are different, people have this knee-jerk reaction when they're like, well, they screwed up the transfer and they messed it up, and this isn't how it is. This isn't how it looks. When really it's just the way they're used to seeing it.
Right.
So a lot of times now what they do is they bring in the director or the DP, which is a cinematographer, and they work with them to ensure color accuracy.
That's amazing.
To bring it as close as possible to its theatrical presentation. Mm-hmm. So, and so
you're turning me nerdy, and I like it and hate it. Look at that difference.
So this is the opening of Twister with lightning.
Wow, that's freaking crazy huge. Look at the pixelation. That truck is yellow. I'm just kidding.
I didn't know that.
I liked your Twister video. Everybody should watch it if they haven't.
So, I mean, look at that. That's a huge difference between the Blu-ray and the 4K. Like, and the thing is that if the 4K never came out, you wouldn't even know. How would you know? Because you had nothing to compare it to.
Right.
And who's going to remember exactly how a movie looked back in '96 and 2024? When you saw it in theater. I
did see it in theater.
I don't know I don't know which version. I don't know. The one of the most recent times I watched the original Star Wars, and I'm watching it in 4K on Disney Plus, and I'm like, boy, I don't remember all this grime. Like C-3PO looks like shit. I don't know which version I was used to seeing in my head, but obviously they had restored the grain or whatever they had done. But it was suddenly a very noticeable difference to me because of like that movie so imprinted in my head.
Yeah, I'm not saying that every 4K transfer is great. There's a lot of duds out there, like Inglourious Bastards, not a good 4K transfer.
They're just cutting corners, not getting the VP in there, or whatever you said.
And they didn't include the director, like they didn't include Tarantino to ensure accuracy.
Right.
A lot of the movies like really blown out and just does not look good.
Let's just make it look different. The idiots will think this is what 4K is.
And then the worst is Terminator 2. And
I remember that video.
There's a problem with that is that the 4K Terminator 2 ended out being, for whatever reason, whoever did this at Studio Canal, they ended out using the 3D master instead of the 4K master for the physical release. So
you did nothing.
And you had one job.
Yeah, what?
and so I saw when they re-released Terminator 2 in 4K, I went to see it in theater, and it was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And it doesn't look like that on the physical disc. Right. And even when you start the disc, it even says on there, this has been formatted for 3D conversion or something like that. So
we fucked up. We are really sorry. You've already
for some reason, Studio Canal won't admit it and they won't correct it.
It was on purpose.
Yeah, but from what I'm hearing, Cameron knows about this and he's going to correct it.
Well, I'm still upset with Cameron over The Abyss, and I just found out about that. So
what's that? What do you not like about The Abyss?
No. You said
he was mean.
You said he was mean. He almost killed a national treasure, Ed Harris.
Yeah, I mean, you got to watch that documentary. It's fascinating.
I want to. And John said I need to watch the extras on the. Yeah, I've never seen any extra anything on The Breakfast Club, and it's one of my very favorite movies.
Yeah, it's
So.
great. Andre says, I recently got 12 Angry Men and Wall-E Blu-rays on from Criterion. Awesome.
I don't even know what to pick. Like, I'm just starting to get into boutique stuff, and it's overwhelming. It's truly like picking your favorite children.
Yes.
A part of me wants to get something I've never seen before. Like I wanted to get or like something that was amazing that I only seen once. The Anatomy of Falling. That one was also Anatomy of a Fall. That was also on sale. I almost got that one instead, but I had to go with something I know I've loved forever.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah,
Including my tattoo. I had to go with something I knew I'd love forever.
I'm the same way. It's kind of like when I'm spending money to buy a movie, I don't really like to blind buy because if I don't like it, then I'm not going to watch it again, and I'm either going to sell it, give it away, or just sits on the shelf,
right,
and take up space. And I'm a collector, but I'm not one of those collectors where I rent out a storage unit.
Yeah, no, you're a curator. You're a
Yeah.
curator. You are more like a museum docent. I feel like I'm saying every word wrong now that I found out Criterion is Criterion. Anyway, Chicago Cubs. That's what the logo looks like. No, you edit, and that makes sense because you're a filmmaker, right? So you know that like taking things away can make something more perfect.
Yeah.
To make sense for your collection.
Now, since you mentioned tattoo, what does it say, if you don't mind?
It says I carried a watermelon ? By Frances Hausman, which is Baby from Dirty Dancing. This is the second time she says I carried a watermelon. It is when she asks herself as if I am so fucking stupid. Did I just say that?
I carried a watermelon?
That's it. It's one of my favorite movies, and it's my favorite line from that movie. And now
which I have on 4K, by the way.
Oh, stop it. Is Johnny actually yellow?
Yes,
Everything's yellow in 4K. Okay.
Yeah, what's interesting too, and I wish I would have grabbed some examples, but there's a lot of things that I never noticed on the Blu-ray until I compared it to the 4K. Like, for instance, a lot of times they added like a pink or magenta hue over the image, or a teal green hue over the image. And the only thing I can think of is they thought that could make the image look warmer.
Yeah.
Adding that.
Magenta
and but then it takes away from the naturalness of the movie.
Yeah, someone clearly went frame by frame and tried to do something. Like what I mean, it's just an interesting choice. Like it makes you wonder what they're hiding. And is it just like a blemish on one of the actors' close-up face? Or like magenta. Now you can't see it.
Well, and it's also with that, they'll do like if there's something James Cameron's notorious for wanting his movies to look perfect and wanting his movies to look modern. So that was the big deal with especially True Lies, is that he went in.
Remember how angry you were.
He went in and smoothed out all the image using an AI technology.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do it through the whole movie, but there was definitely areas where you could see it. Now, personally, I honestly didn't get that upset about it because I was like, okay, it's one or two shots, it's here and there. It doesn't ruin the movie for me.
Yeah.
And still, it looks better than the DVD. That wasn't even widescreen. If you watch the DVD now, it's just a little square in the middle of your screen, unless you zoom in.
He zooms in. I love you.
Wait, why would that be?
Because it's not anamorphic. As far as so it's not 16:9 anamorphic. So all TVs now are 4K 16:9 anamorphic. So when you watch a movie that's not anamorphic in it, it's just in a little square in the middle of your TV.
Right, just takes up the space. Yeah. Otherwise, everything's stretched or you clip things off.
So it's kind of like putting back in the day our 13-inch 4x3 TV in the middle of your 70-inch 4K TV.
You put a working TV in front of a non-working.
Right. And I forgot where I was going with this, but
Cameron.
Yeah.
Way to go, Matt.
So a lot of times they'll do that. They'll to get rid of blemishes and stuff to kind of smooth over the image. But then again, what it does is it ruins that image because everything looks waxy.
Right.
And doesn't look natural. And that's one thing that Cameron did. Again, it was it was in a couple frames. It wasn't throughout the whole movie, but so to me, it didn't ruin it. But other people were up in arms, yelling, screaming about it, and I was just like, okay.
Chill.
Let's see, Mr. Blue Third. Is that how you pronounce it? I just got Invasion USA on 4K from Vinegar Syndrome this week.
I need to get Vinegar Syndrome.
You mean
this one? No,
this one?
not that one. No.
Did you get the one with the slip cover, which, by the way, is actually called an O-ring? If people didn't know, I don't know why they're calling
Blue Third
O-ring.
C. Please go check your collection. I think Paul might have it.
And Vinegar Syndrome actually sent this to me to do. What's cool is Vinegar Syndrome, Oscar Vinegar Syndrome. He is the curator over there of the film archive. He saw my videos and he reached out to me and said, "Hey, can you do a comparison of our movies?"
Stop.
So he sent me Navy SEALs and a couple other movies, and so they said they're going to put those videos on their website. I don't know if they've done it or not.
That's so cool,
but
Paul.
yeah, it's pretty cool. And another place called Celluloid Dreams is a brand new boutique label that just launched, and they did the same thing. And I'm actually having them on my live show next Wednesday, I think.
And you have us two idiots, and you're gonna do that?
You're not idiots.
I mean, we're pretty smart, but still. Oh, look,
No,
Mr. Blue Sea.
I'll have anybody on the show that wants to come on that loves physical media. It's like, I don't, you don't have to be
amazing like us, prestigious like us.
You don't have to have a big brain like Paul about physical media to enjoy physical media.
I will say this has gone so much more fluently. I was worried. I'd be like, I don't know what you're saying now.
See, and that's the thing is I've invited some people on. They're like, "You're intimidating." I'm like, "What? Intimidating? Why?" And I'm just like, just because I do that in the videos doesn't mean I do it in real life. I mean,
if that ever happens again, I want you to point them to this live stream. And you've been so easygoing, and we've said no technical things, and you're just like, good job. That was sweet.
And it's just like, and if I say something technical and you don't understand it, ask me. And it's a learning process, right?
That's right.
It's a learning point. John Pimmel says the latest boutique blind buy, Cat in the Bag, is from Vinegar Syndrome, Devil Times 5. It's in 4K. Last year from Vinegar Syndrome, my blind buy from them was Rabid Grannies. Gritty, ridiculous, and loved it. Rabid Grannies.
Yes.
Devil
the
Times
only
5.
kind of granny.
I saw Devil Times 5 a long, long time ago. It's about kids killing adults, I think.
That sounds good.
Back in the day when they used to make real movies.
Oh.
When they weren't afraid to show kids doing bad things.
We got to go back.
Give your kids knives,
Oh, Mr. Blue says without the slipcover. Yeah. Yeah, I think they only print like a couple thousand of them with the slipcover, and then they do it without the slipcover. Did you have something there you wanted to show? I see you're holding something.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm not.
No,
Matt had some
not.
things to show.
I was going to wait my turn though.
Oh, I wasn't gonna just do. He was like, "Don't show it until he asks." I was like, "I'm not. I just had it ready."
Oh, do it. I don't care. Throw it up. I don't care.
No, Matt ruined it.
Here's the
Matt,
thing.
you show your bullshit.
I go with the flow. If you all of a sudden while I'm talking, you grab something off the shelf and show it. I don't care. Honestly, it's fine. Perfectly fine.
Thank you.
Because if you don't, I'll keep rambling on. So you need to stop me.
Are you gonna show something or what? Whip it out, man.
Okay.
This is
Well,
Twin Flicks after 8
hang on a
PM.
second.
It's after 8 PM.
It's not midnight, so you can't just whip it out yet.
It's midnight in some parts of the Pacific.
well, I was going through everything and I was looking really for curios, and I found this early Blu-ray of War Horse of Steven Spielberg's, which contains 4 discs, a Blu-ray, a DVD of bonus features, and then a digital copy that's on a disc. And I've never encountered a digital copy that's on a disc. You have to put the disc into your computer, and then now I tried to do this. The software had been
it's out
defunct
of
for
date.
15 years.
Yeah.
But I guess you would literally just download it to your computer from this disc.
It's like getting a digital code.
Well, yes, I know,
Yeah.
but this was pre-digital code.
Matt, it's like getting a digital code.
Thank you,
Sweet
thank you.
baby.
Yeah, that's how they used to do it before you had the codes. Is they'd put the code it on a disc, and then you can download on your computer, or it would go onto whatever movies anywhere or whatever you're using. And then they got smart and said, "Oh, we don't need to do this. It's a waste of money. Let's just do a."
Hey, Captain Hot Dog. Sorry.
Paul
one of our
"I made
people
it."
is here.
Captain Hot Dog. Hey, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you. We're probably wrapping up a little bit. I actually don't know how long you go, Paul. How long do these things go?
Until we stop.
Oh,
So,
shit.
no, I mean, probably another 30 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
This depends.
I can really.
You said, Matt, you said that you wanted to show a. Actually, first of all, before I ask that, did you do a review of Warhorse yet?
No, well, so on the show we're only doing 9 Spielberg movies.
Yeah.
Oh,
not
okay.
all 34.
Yeah,
But I did watch every
summer's
Spielberg
only
in
so
order.
long.
I did watch every Spielberg movie in order a few years back, and Warhorse is not that good. That's my review.
I will say this: when I first saw it in theater, I absolutely loved it.
Okay.
And then I saw it again on physical media when I bought the Blu-ray, and I watched that at home. I'm like,
the horse was made out of string.
why did I like this? Was I high when I watched it?
So yes, I kind of had. I didn't love it the first time I saw it, but I was like, yeah, it's good, it's nice. And then I saw it again. I was like, oh, it's kind of crap. But it's the kind of movie that I feel bad saying mean things about it because it seems like
because of the horse.
Just a nice little boy who's trying really hard. I'm like, no, shut up.
Wait, you're talking about Spielberg? He's always trying.
I'm talking about the movie Warhorse.
He's a sweet little boy who's trying real hard.
Yeah, I'm going to get more into that into our video on Monday about the pre 2000 between the two different Spielbergs and why his change. The tale of two Spielbergs.
I love the new Spielberg, to be clear. I just don't like Warhorse very much.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't like the new Spielberg.
Well, again, these people are our babies.
Show your dusty bullshit. Come
on. Buster Keaton. You said you had a Buster Keaton collection.
Yeah. So you asked what is my favorite piece of physical media that I own? It was kind of. It's this Buster Keaton collection, the art of Buster Keaton that I've bought 20 years ago from Kino. Before it was Kino Lorber, it was just Kino.
Wow.
This is and I remember the way I bought it. I mailed a check.
Stole his mom's credit card.
I mailed a check to Amazon.com, which you could do at a certain point. I don't know if you still can.
That doesn't even look like
probably
now
not.
So I spent a weekend watching Buster Keaton movies. I was very popular in high school. Everybody was everywhere I went. They're like, "Hey, it's the Buster Keaton guy."
Buster was on the short list of what we were going to name our kid, actually.
So most of these have never been released on Blu-ray. When I try to understand like restoring silent films, like my head spins. But truly, it's just a sentimental thing. It's like one of the only box sets or any piece of physical media that if like I lost it or whatever, I would feel compelled to repurchase it.
Yeah.
Because I like the artwork, because of kind of how weird and cheap it looks, even though it's not.
Well, simply that it's Kino and not Kino. I love that. I love that it's a defunct or an old logo on a company that still exists.
So you have
like a law firm.
You have basically all of the short films and feature films that he produced as an independent.
Nice.
When he was producing independently before he joined MGM, and other than that, like. I don't know. I don't have any things that I'm like sentimentally attached to that I own.
I'm so glad you asked, Matt.
Okay.
So,
I was going to say that if you weren't popular in high school, I think we would have been best friends in high school.
Yeah.
I know we should have been. Ships in the night.
Yeah. I am addicted to buying VHSs in the wild, and anytime I see a box set, no matter what the topic, I buy them just because I think it's amazing that all of them ended up still together, like a bunch of little refugees. And then when I like something and I find it in a box set, then I get real jazzed. So this is Sopranos season 2.
Ooh, that's cool.
On VHS, and it's got Velcro opening and shutting.
How many episodes is it per tape?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. 3.
3
These
per
are
tape.
heavy tapes, yeah.
Some
Wow.
of them 2. Some of them 2. But some of them 3, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Wow.
Wow, you really did the digging. Which one of us found the very small print on here? Me.
No, you're right. I
Yeah.
defer to you. Wait, what are you mad about?
I'm not mad. I love you.
Okay.
Look at that, man.
That's cool. That's really
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Let me ask you a question here.
Do it.
Very, very important question.
Okay. Give it
What
to me.
is it about VHS that you love collecting?
Because it was the first thing I collected. It was the most financially obtainable thing. We did not have a lot of money, and I stayed not having a lot of money for a long time. And I could buy. I like being surrounded by stuff. I just like things. I like things all in a row. I was never a reader because I'm dyslexic. So just having.
I am too, by the way.
You are.
Yeah.
I love you more.
Yeah.
So just surrounding myself. But I just like the way it feels to pull them in and out. It's different from snapping open something. There's just something about a slip that I like, that when they get stuck, you can put an eraser in the thing and like crank it. And then I like, sometimes it's a surprise when you take it out and its guts are coming out. I like the whole thing.
So
like
it's more
sound it makes.
it's more nostalgia for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I can understand.
I'm old. I like to be surrounded by things that don't totally matter to everyone anymore. It makes me feel special.
Yeah.
Well,
And
there are
also, go ahead.
There are people who argue for today in 2024 watching movies on VHS is to capture that spirit
Hear that crackle
of that shitty low res experience that we all had up until.
You know what I
whenever.
found a couple of are specifically the VHSs that they would play in a video store. So it's like it's just on a loop of promos of a certain set of movies. So it's just made for these like 90-second things. And it's just, I desperately want to get a corner mounted TV with VCR combo and it just to have it on and just loop it. I've worked at a video store for only a month. It turned out to be a pornography store more than it was a video store. I did not know that. The whole, like, you go past the beaded
how could you
curtain.
not know that?
I didn't know. I'd been going to Village Video for forever, and there's a beaded curtain. It says employees only. I believe them. Employees and men who love sexy ladies. and you go behind the beaded curtain. It was 3 times the size of this side. So when a 19-year-old me was like, I'd love to work at your video store, that man was like, that'll be great. And then you get there, and you're like,
oh, this is how they make money.
I made a mistake. Yeah. I'm not a prude, but I'm also a small person working alone. So
right.
I don't need to know everybody like this.
So I can understand that as far as you grew up with and it's nostalgia and you buy it.
Yeah.
What I personally don't understand is people who were born way after VHS, were born in the Blu-ray days that are collecting up VHS tapes.
I think they think it's going to be like a moneymaker or something. I don't know.
No,
First of all, and then when I've asked some people, they're like, well, it's nostalgic. And I'm like, well, no, because you weren't born. You weren't even alive when it happened. So that's not nostalgic.
Baker? Yeah.
No, but nostalgia does not have to be for a thing you actually experienced.
It could be for your mom's or your dad's loves.
Or just like an imagined past that we need to get back to, but we never can.
Gross.
Like Main Street USA at Disney World.
What I think of VHS, first of all, I hated VHS was crap. It was not good. I mean, Beta was better than VHS. So when you have Blu-ray, 4K, DVD, to me, I'm kind of like, okay, unless it's for nostalgia, like you buy it for a reason. Unless it's that, why are you buying bags and truckloads of VHS tapes when you've got a much better quality here than what you had on VHS? And that's just I just don't really understand it.
No, you're a much more pragmatic person, and your collection is because you're finding beautiful works of art and keeping them. But mine is more like the more the merrier, and I assume, I mean, like my kid collects records, and records are still being made, and I think it's just kind of cool. But
I was going to ask, if you think People will argue for the superiority of listening to music on vinyl, that's the optimal way to listen to music. I don't think anybody makes that argument with VHS,
No.
other than it's nice to feel like we're back in the 90s.
Right. And that only works for someone who did experience that for a large chunk of their movie.
I have had some people tell me that they said that VHS is the only way to watch this movie. Right. Because it looks better, it sounds better. And I'm like, no. How can a mono analog tape be better than, a disc? Even DVD is better than the VHS.
Right.
So I don't know, whatever. I mean, I guess I can understand if it's like an old 80s direct to video type horror movie. Sure. Maybe I can understand because you get that feel.
Right.
But for just like Twister, I had someone say, I'll only watch Twister on VHS.
No.
I'm like, why?
Well, I'm 1,000% on your side, Paul. I'm not nostalgic for VHS. I just want the most recent of everything.
Yeah.
But I think there is a case to be made that, who are we to say what's better? Who defines what best
me?
Even?
Yeah. I am me and I am I. This is my freaking show.
But I can more than the VHS thing. I can buy people who are like, that movie's better on TNT, broken up with commercials over 3 hours.
Matt loves commercials, like old commercials.
No, but not for the commercials. It's like it's just paced better.
Oh.
It's more fun to watch the Shawshank Redemption that continually gets interrupted, and maybe you can fall asleep through parts of it.
Watch it on Tubi.
That's the optimal way to watch that movie.
There's a guy on TikTok. He's a comedian and actor called Matt McCarthy. He does old VHS tapes and he'll watch them, but he just watches like the commercials with you. And so he'll show like the old school commercials on the videotapes that he gets on TikTok. I'm actually having him on the show in a week or two. I forget when. I think it's late next week. He's coming on.
Is that the name of his channel? It's his name. Okay.
Matt McCarthy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
you
age?
Definitely got to check him out. What was that?
Like my age, like 40.
Yeah. He's in I think he's in the mid or late 40s. So he's okay.
I'm in my very early 40s.
So you're 40. I'm 46. So yeah, he's around our age. Yeah. But yeah, it's a really cool channel too, because he also makes fun of the old commercials.
Of course.
And all that stuff. Yeah.
There are, because I have hundreds and hundreds of tapes of The Simpsons recorded from TV, but I was a freaking little idiot and I pressed pause during the commercials. So the commercials are for the most part edited out. And now those are the only things I want from those tapes.
Is it the commercials?
Yes. And I have found a few commercials and I've ripped them and put them on YouTube.
Oh,
and it's a joy to see these local commercials.
Yes, local.
For businesses that you're like, how could that have ever been a business? How could you have made money doing that?
Right.
People need to buy furniture. Right. They need to buy furniture. They want to buy locally.
I love the old Folgers coffee commercials. Oh, yeah. The best part of waking up. And it would be like, they would do like these scenarios where the soldiers coming home for Christmas morning, surprising everybody. And it's like, I'll late at night when I can't sleep, I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch these like 1 hour videos of people just putting these old commercials on their channel. It just talk about bringing back memories. Your dog's attacking you?
Yes, he pulled down.
William Driver. Hey, William, thanks for joining us tonight. I thought about getting back into collecting VHS, but now I just like the higher quality. It is a nostalgia kick. Yeah, I think the only VHS that I actually have is Batman 1989. I do have that, and then the rest are really just like home movie, home stuff, video stuff. You guys okay? Oh, did they knock out your audio? They must have knocked out the audio. All right. Mr. Blue third says, I was born in 81, so I've already lived through the VHS era. Nostalgia can only go so far. Right. I agree with that 100%. It's like we lived through it. I don't want to go back to it. Still no audio. Oh, okay. There we go.
We're back. Stop. Don't touch anything.
There we go. Okay. You're back.
The dog did it. The dog ate my audio. The dog ate my audio.
Let's see. Dustin. Hey, Dustin, how's it going? Quentin Tarantino loves VHS and argues for it, but I wish he would embrace 4K and get more of his movies on the format. Well, I think that just goes back to because look at the movies he also watches.
Right.
Tarantino watches. He loves those old school, independent, shot guerrilla style type movies, like movies like Thriller, A Cruel Story. He likes those type of movies, and so I can completely understand why you would want to watch that on VHS because it gives that grittiness that you want in a movie like that.
I have all the Batmans on VHS. Thank you for asking.
Even Batman Forever. I mean, Batman and Robin.
Yep, I'm looking right at it. Can we go get it?
Goodness.
I have all of them.
No, I don't want to see that.
Well, you're a saint. You're a saint. You're gonna like it, Mister. Okay, I'll go get it. It's Batman.
Paul F says, "I love nostalgic things. I love typewriters. Typewriters.
We have a big typewriter in our living room.
I told Captain Hot Dog we have that.
Oh, she wasn't lying. We do have Batman and Robin. I assumed she was crazy.
I'm not.
I assumed she was crazy.
There it is. Worst Batman movie ever made.
I can't act like the Joker.
We're gonna do it on our podcast one day.
So
Typewriters?
Batman. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Batman and Robin came out in '97.
Yes.
I'm wrong, or that's when it came out?
No, that's when it came out.
You're right.
So to this day, George Clooney still apologizes for Batman and Robin, which is hilarious to me.
Too much, I think. He needs to get over it.
Calm down. And he's a little bitch. And
And
everybody
then he did
knows
that cameo at the end of the Flash movie.
All right. Well, he needs to apologize for being associated with that.
Yeah,
For that war crime.
I can't watch either one of those movies. John Pimble says, I think Quentin Tarantino has a point with his theater, New Beverly, where he only shows film projection, but VHS, oh, hell no. Exactly. And that goes back to what I was saying is, like, he'll watch VHS, but if it's like, you know, he's not going to show VHS in a theater.
Right.
You know, he's going to do film projection. And
Everyone's
VHS is probably as close as possible to that gritty feel that he wants in those type of movies. Paul says Gunner.
That's our dog.
That's our dog.
He's one who's sabotaging everything.
He did. He spilled my wine. And I'm
no.
Unplugged everything. But if I may return to Batman and Robin.
Sure.
It was the first Batman I ever saw. I went to see it in a theater at age 10. And
Really?
I was like, so this is my only understanding of Batman. And so, of course, I was like, this is the best movie I've ever seen. This is so cool. I love that you see their butts. And I like that they're always shooting their little grappling things. And it was only later that I had understood people hated it and it's not good.
The gratuitous nipple shots.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like,
Built-in
that's
nipple.
normal. It's a movie, and that's what movies have, is nipple shots.
In Aladdin, you erase nipples, and in
Batman, you
Robin,
have
you
them.
add them.
I'm sorry, it's not normal. No. It's not.
Well,
depending on the movie you watch.
But I fashioned my boob job after them, so if I have gratuitous nipple, I'm very upset that that's not correct. Sorry. What are we now? Now we're after 9, baby.
Yeah, it's 9:19 now. We're getting closer, right?
Do you ever dance with the devil in the
pale moonlight?
That's a
I
Batman
asked
reference.
I
All My
freaking know
Prey.
that, Matt.
Wow.
I freaking know that.
And now you're making me want to say the whole line. I asked
Do
that
it,
of all my
do it.
prey.
Oh.
You ever dance with the devil in pale moonlight? I always
will.
ask that of all my prey. I just like the sound of it.
I'll dance.
That Jack.
Yeah,
I'd have
Nichols-
danced with him.
That's like prime Jack right there too.
And then Michael Keaton's famous line, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
I love Michael Keaton.
Well, see, this is why I hated him saying that in The Flash, because it's like, sorry, has this Bruce Wayne seen the film Batman 1989?
Shut up.
Otherwise, why is he saying that?
Right. It didn't make any sense. It's just like, it was just a bunch of callbacks. Like,
I know.
Like
Matt
it-
hates
it-
fanfare.
I'm like, okay, you can tell the producer's like, okay, we're going to put that in, and everyone's going to go like, oh, I remember that. And it's like,
I know
no.
him. I know him.
It's like, no, I want to see, you're making a Flash movie. Let's make a Flash movie. I don't want a back Flash movie.
A back flat. That's backdraft, and it's about fire.
Backdraft. One thing I got from Arrow Video the other day was this Clash of Titans and Wrath of Titans on 4K.
Oh, okay.
And people were extremely, including myself, were extremely disappointed because, let me zoom in here. The artwork looks like the original artwork of the original film from like 1980. So everybody was thinking this was going to have the original, or was the original Clash of the Titans, not the remake.
Well, yeah,
But
they're
no.
counting on people not looking into that because who wants
So-
They're
the
doing
Sam
the thing.
Worthington clash
Right.
of the
They're
Titans?
doing the thing you're talking about, Paul, where you put the monster on the cover that's not even in there.
Yeah. So it's the remake and then the remake sequel. I hated the remake. I didn't actually mind the sequel. I thought that was fun. It was directed a lot better and there's some cool scenes. But people were asking me, why didn't they not just release the original too? And the only thing I could think of is that Warner Brothers wanted to say that for themselves, to release themselves and not have Arrow Video release it. Because that's like part of their huge catalog.
Way to not hit the mark, Arrow.
Yeah. So
Shut up.
So you said earlier that you are just getting into boutique labels.
I am, yeah. Film Talk is what alerted me.
So yeah. Oh no! What happened?
I don't know.
Are you back? What happened? That was weird.
We're here.
You did that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I don't want to hear anymore. And
you were making a cake.
It
Yeah.
was the world's briefest rapture.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll tell you some of the best boutique labels here in the States is probably going to be Arrow Video and then Kino Lorber. Kino Lorber is putting out tons of stuff. Shot Factory is a good one too. From in the UK though, the best is going to be Second Sight. They are the best. And when the people say why I love physical media, I bring out this Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Look at
my
this.
heart be still. It's my favorite.
Look at this box set.
Look at that. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
There's my best boy. That's my best little boy right there.
That's from Arrow?
That is from Second Sight.
Oh, okay.
And then they got these art,
that's an import?
Oh, wow.
like the dark arts. And then what's cool is that they got this book. This is an actual hardcover book that they released with it, with interviews and all that good stuff.
Oh, cool.
But as dyslexics, we will not read that.
I haven't read it.
No, but we like that it exists.
You need a digital code for the audiobook.
Matt wrote a
Right,
novel
yeah.
and he made an audio version of it just so I would read the novel. And that's sweet. He did
That
the
just
whole
shows
thing.
how much he loves you.
He did. I know. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, I was going to
cool.
spotlight this RoboCop
From Arrow,
4K
yeah.
from Arrow that also has a book and it's like
Okay, so is Arrow just a publisher of books?
just so beautiful. Look at
It
that.
is quite handsome.
It's
RoboCop-
cool to
This is a hardback. This is a paperback.
Yeah,
So.
no, it's
Yeah.
inferior, but they're doing things better over there. You know,
yeah, Arrow is very cool. And once in a while, Second Sight will put out the hardback, but a lot of times they put out paperback.
Are you supposed to hang up the poster?
You can
You
do
can
whatever, you want.
with it.
Okay, you guys really are best friends.
I was going to say, if you don't have any toilet paper, you could use that if you want. You can do whatever
Hey!
you want with it.
Hey,
RoboCop is another one. I was going to say the 2014 remake of RoboCop is another one where I feel like the packaging of the DVD and Blu-ray is very much trying to trick you into thinking it's the original RoboCop.
Right.
There's
right.
nothing to distinguish it from the original.
Yeah, that movie was awful. That's one movie that I don't think should be remade. Is RoboCop.
Well, I turn it on. I'm like, I don't remember Samuel L. Jackson being in this, but maybe I'm wrong. He's really old guy, right?
he's a really old guy.
Yeah. Real quick, we're gonna head out soon, but just to announce to people who don't know yet, I have this came in all 3 Bill and Ted movies in 4K.
Whoa.
I have the Blu-ray. So guess what I'm going to be doing with them? I bet you can't guess.
Oh, I feel
I'm just gonna put them on a shelf and look at
comparison
them.
party. Yeah.
So I'm going to do a comparison review of those. But my
Good for
next
you.
one that I'm hoping to get up pretty soon is I don't know if you've heard of the movie The Guyver.
Mm-mm.
It stars Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker himself. It was made
Heard
like
of him.
90 or 91. Very low budget sci-fi movie. And they recently released that in 4K. And I'm doing a comparison between that and the previous Blu-ray. But
Honestly,
Yeah.
just from that description, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, Matt's gonna.
it's fun. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's before we get out of here, let's for those who just joined us, why don't you guys go ahead and tell what you guys do on this platform and where they can find you at.
Well, we are the Load Bearing Beams podcast. It's
You're the
Ow!
Are
We're part.
Are we there yet? Okay.
We're a lot of physical comedy.
Paul, what happened to you?
I think he made us full screen.
Oh, there we go. Here we go. Hold on.
A lot of stuff happened.
I saw that. What's funny is I said, I think you mean clumsy beams, and all that stuff fell right when I said it. So I don't know if it caught that or not.
I hit the thingy. I just wanted to show you, because if you guys are looking for our podcast in any podcast app, you will be looking for this artwork.
Right now, it's the Summer of Spielberg.
All right, don't be a dick.
Well.
All right, so it's whatever. It's Summer of Spielberg. It's different artwork, but you get I make little avatars of ourselves, and there we are, and it's backwards. So look there. Cool. Now it's frontwards. Just kidding.
The show is called Load Bearing Beams. The audio, it's out audio podcast, and then we also do the video version on YouTube. And
which are quite popular.
We do deep dives into movies each week. Traditionally, it's one of us picks the movie, the other one hasn't seen it, and we kind of make our case for it and see if the other likes it. Kind of loosening the rules. This summer, we've just been doing Steven Spielberg movies, and Paul will be joining us for the season finale of the Summer of Spielberg.
Yay!
As we discuss The Fabelmans, Spielberg's most recent movie. We're very sad to leave behind Steven Spielberg.
I know. I feel so intimate with him.
But just a little nugget for you. You asked, what's the most recent physical purchase we made? Well, the one was The Fabelmans.
You got Drumline!
And the other is Drumline.
We're going to do
which is the first movie we're going to be covering after the Summer of Spielberg.
I just wanted to do. I've been wanting to do Drumline, and Matt hates dance movies, so I thought I could get dance movie adjacent and just go performance. Because Matt's a drummer and a guitar player and a singer and a writer, and so I was like, well, maybe he'll be okay with band music.
Yeah. I'll say this. I won't be on that podcast.
I know. I'm just trying to switch it up, but then we'll go back to good shit, whatever.
So if you're a fan of either The Fabelmans or Drumline, we got you covered. Everyone fits into one of those two. You're either a Drumline or a Fabelmans.
That's your whole podcast is Fabelmans and Drumline.
That's it.
You're just focusing on that.
We got it, yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to get on. I'm real excited about it. Anytime, like I said at the beginning of the show, anytime I can talk Spielberg, I want to talk Spielberg. I have something special to show as well, that I got a letter from Steven Spielberg back in 1996 that I want to show on the show. So I can't wait for that.
Is it on DreamWorks letterhead?
Oh my God.
No, because that was made in DreamWorks was in 98. I think
94. It started in 94.
Oh,
was it on Amblin letterhead? I'm just going to guess letterhead.
But they didn't get their letterhead, Matt, until 4 years.
So, can you guess what DreamWorks' first movie was?
Their first movie was The Peacemaker.
Yep, The Peacemaker.
Yes,
you're the only person I know that could ever say that.
I read there's a great book about DreamWorks, The Men Who Would Be King, that I've used for some of the research for the show. If people are interested in the DreamWorks story, which is a fascinating story, but ultimately is a story about pleasing one man's ego, that man being Jeffrey Katzenberg, who left Disney and needed a job, so they started a new movie studio for him. But that book's great. And I got to learn about movies like The Peacemaker and all these forgotten movies of the late 90s.
Yeah, I don't forget them.
Did you see The Peacemaker? It's good.
No, but I've seen Drumline. When did this come out?
I think that was 03.
Yes. See, the late 03s. I watched it.
We know you've seen Drumline. So, by the way, you said you're a graphic designer more than twice.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
And guys, I contacted Lacey, and she made this for our channel.
Look at that.
It's not. Thank you.
And
there you go.
I love it, and I think it fits the channel much better than our old logo, and so I wanted to thank you for that again for doing that for us. And guys, so I'm going to link your YouTube channel at the description of this channel of this video, so you guys can click on the link to follow, give them a follow, and stay tuned for our episode of The Fabelmans. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah.
This was fun, Paul.
This was fun. Thank you so much.
I love you. Goodbye. Sorry. Still have it.
All right, guys. Well,
bye, everybody. It's good to meet you.
Thanks for coming on. Remember, guys, keep physical media alive. That's my tagline.
And keep on drumming. And that's my tagline.
He's always saying it.
Bye.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, Paul. Thanks.
Sure.